Hello, my lovely viewers. Welcome again to Mathematics and I. Today we have a question that we are going to be solving. So if this is your first time joining us, please don't forget to subscribe and also don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. Now the question we have for today says, if tan theta equal to 2, then the value of cosec squared theta minus sec squared theta over cosec squared theta plus sec squared theta is what? Now, let us see. First of all, let me explain what each of these term or each of these trig ratios stand for. Now, when you say cosec, cosec simply means the inverse of sine. Okay, and when you say sec, sec simply means the inverse of cos. This is what you should put into consideration. Cosec is the inverse of sine, and sec is the inverse of cos. Okay, so now let us see how we can make use of this to solve this problem. But first, there is a bigger problem than what I just explained. In the question, what was actually given was tan theta. Let's begin. Now, we were told that tan theta is equal to 2. But don't forget that tan theta also is opposite over adjacent. So it means in this question, my opposite is 2 and my adjacent will be 1, because 2 divided by 1 will also give us 2. Now it means that we know the value of the opposite and we know the value of the adjacent, but one of the right angle triangle is missing, which is the hypotenuse. And there is no way we can solve for this when we don't know the 3 sides. So how do we do it? We are going to solve for the hypotenuse first. And the formula for the hypotenuse is equal to the square root of opposite square plus adjacent square. Alright, so let's see what we can do. Now hypotenuse becomes the square root of opposite here is 2 raised to the power of square plus adjacent is 1, also raised to the power of 2. So here becomes hypotenuse is equal to the square root of 2 raised to the power of 2 is 4, and 1 raised to the power of 2 is 1. 2 raised to the power of 2 means 2 times 2, and 1 raised to the power of 2 means 1 times 1. And of course, my hypotenuse is equal to the square root of 5. Let us leave it like this. Let us not leave it in decimal. Let us use it as in the root form, root 5. Okay, now that we know our hypotenuse, we know the opposite, and we know our adjacent, we can now solve for the question. Good. The first thing we have here is cosec, and we said from the beginning of the class that cosec is the inverse of sine. So the best way for us to get cosec is for us to get sine. After we get sine, when we reciprocate, we get the inverse, which is cosec. Now let us solve for sine theta. Now class, sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Are you with me? Now, our opposite in the question is 2. And then our hypotenuse now is root 5. Now you see, if we have not solved for the hypotenuse, there is no way we will be able to solve this question. Now, if sine theta is 2 over root 5, it means cosec theta, which is the inverse, will be what? Root 5 over 2. Because if you reciprocate sine, you get the inverse of sine. And the inverse of sine is cosec. Next, let us go get the inverse of cos, which is sec. But for us to get the inverse of cos, we need to know cos. Now cos theta. Now cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. Alright. So here the adjacent is 1 and the hypotenuse is root 5. So therefore sec, which is the inverse, becomes what? Root 5. Because root 5 over 1 will give us root 5. Let me just include this root 5 over 1, which is also the same thing as what? Root 5. Are you with me? Okay, now the math is getting simpler and simpler. Now that we know cosec to be root 5 over 2 and we know sec to be root 5, let us solve the problem. Now, in place of cosec, what would I give? Root 5 over 2. But don't forget cosec is carrying the square. So here becomes root 5 over 2 all squared minus sec is root 5, just root 5. Minus root 5 squared, okay? All over root 5 over 2 again, all squared, but this time we are adding plus root 5 squared. Simple as that. Now, according to the law of indices, power law, the power is affecting the whole base, which is root 5 over 2. So this root 5 over 2 raised to the power 2 simply means root 5 times root 5 over 2 times 2. You see, because of the square, root 5 multiply itself 2 times, and 2 multiply itself 2 times. Now, according to the previous examples which will be given in our previous videos, root 5 times root 5 is 5, because the numbers inside the roots are the same. When you multiply the root of a number times the root of the same number, the answer is the number in the roots. So now, here becomes 5 over 4. So here becomes root 5 over 2 squared becomes 5 over 4 minus, now root 5 raised to the power 2 means simply means root 5 times root 5, which is the same thing as 5. All over, again the same thing here, 5 over 4, but here becomes plus 5. Now, a shorter way for solving this math is this. 4 multiplied by 5 is 20. 5 minus that 20 will give us minus 15. So here becomes minus 15 over 4. Okay? Then all over, again, 4 times 5 is 20. 20 plus 5 is what? 25. Here becomes 25 over 4. I come again with this. 4 multiplied by 5 is 20. So 5 minus the 20 is minus 15 over the 4. Now all over, 4 multiplied by 5 is 20. 5 plus the 20 is 25 over the 4. Now you will see that here, 4 can cancel out 4. So what do I have left here? From here, I have just minus 15 on top. And then I have 25 down. And we all know 5 can cancel out minus 15 and 25. So if I should cancel out minus 15, we are going to get minus 3. And if I should cancel out 5, we are going to get 5. Of course, the answer to the question is minus 3 over 5. You see how we broke down this question into a simplified form. And I hope you understood perfectly how we got the final answer minus 3 over 5. So with this, we come to the end of today's class. And I want to say thank you very much for watching. Please keep watching Mathematics and I. Keep on sharing the good news to other friends so they also can learn from our classes. Don't forget, our channel is now on TikTok. For those of you that is on TikTok, just go and search for Math Not Hot. Math Not Hot. MATHNOTHOT. Math Not Hot. If you search, you would see us. Again, if you are on Facebook, you can search for our channel via Maths Booster. Maths Booster. If you get there, you see our page there. Please do what to like and do what to follow. Till meet again in our next class. Bye for now.